Podcasting from beautiful Leesburg, Virginia. Welcome to the Music Educator podcast, bringing you tips, tricks, and practical advice that you can use tomorrow. Here's your host and fellow music educator, Bill Stevens.
And welcome back to the Music Educator podcast. My name is Bill Stevens. I'm your host today. And today we are going to talk about a particular blog post entitled Perform 90% Better by Following These 17 Rehearsal Techniques Using a Pencil. That's a mouthful. All right, so let's get started. How can the following 17 rehearsal techniques using a pencil help you to become a better musician? Well, first, think about it. How can you improve? Are you a seasoned musician that performs for a living? Or perhaps you are a beginning music student in your school. Regardless of where your music career is, the power of the pencil markings has a magical effect on improving your playing ability. What can a pencil do for all of us? Amazing things. It can write transcendent poetry, uplifting music, or life-changing equations. It can sketch the future, give life to untold beauty, and communicate the full force of our love and aspirations. And that was a quote from Adam Braun. The purpose. And it's not rocket science, but pencils have the unreasonably simple task of marking and creating reminders. And these reminders give you the power to be specific and support your mental process as a musician. This may seem like common sense. However, it may backfire on your music preparation. Consequently, it is essential to show and tell them exactly how to mark their music. What should be marked? The following are a list of standard music rehearsal concepts students should mark with their pencils. Accidentals, expression markings, highlight articulation markings, circle dynamics, write down note names for hard to read divisi parts, rhythm counting, who to listen to, in other words, melody, counter melody, balance, and pitch, when to look up at the conductor, add measure numbers, breath marks, fingerings, stylistic cues for performance reminders, indicate pitch tendency, so sharp, flat, and you can use arrows up and down. Arrows are signs to direct the eyes where to look, like dies al coda, del signo. Break up long multi-measure rests to match musical sections. Add rehearsal sections. This would be parts like A1, A2, A3. Highlight articulation bowings. Any location that directs to use subito or just general bowings. The challenge. The goal is to find a way to improve yourself or your students as a musical performer during rehearsal. Challenge yourself to create a checklist of specific and practical ways to create a helpful pencil marking. And if the pencil markings do not help you improve, then don't include them on your list. You'll know you've created a quality checklist when you can prove to yourself beyond a doubt that it is proven to work. But in my personal experience, I have heard all sorts of reasons why students don't have a pencil or why they haven't marked their music. Even as a student, I found that it's tough to always notate everything in my music that would have helped me. Pencil marking techniques. Often my excuses were lame and unsupported when I didn't have a pencil as a kid. I often found my pencil would get lost after rehearsal or the lead would break halfway through class. What educators are saying. Virtually every music educator will agree that having and using a pencil in rehearsal is a necessary tool in a music rehearsal. It is not a particularly fancy technology, but fulfills a particular need. It is convenient, and professionals are always doing it. So I ask, why not make this an expectation during every class? Survey your students. Do you continue to perform as a music educator? Do you practice what you preach? Can you expect your students to live up to a rehearsal expectation if you can't? Take a moment. Survey your students and ask or have them prove to you that they know how to mark their music effectively. Do the markings make them perform better? Or are they just going through the actions because you asked them? Get personal. If requiring pencil usage is not a reinforced expectation of yours, try to communicate on a personal level with your students. Take the extra needed time to mark music together the right way. This could easily take up the whole class period, and if they learn to do a quality job consistently, your students may have adopted a life skill. A few thoughts. In conclusion, a pencil is a magical piece of technology. It is like a wand to a wizard as it is a magical tool to a musician. You can quickly get your money's worth in use, and functionally, it reinforces skills that lead to a plethora of intrinsic and extrinsic benefits. Be sure to get yours today.
Thank you for listening to the Music Educator podcast for the latest tips, tricks, and practical advice you can use tomorrow. You can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. Please visit the Music Educator blog at www.4themusiceducator.com for additional posts and music education news. As always, join in the discussion and let your voice be heard by providing feedback at www.4themusiceducator@gmail.com or leave a Google voicemail at 703-942-9883. We will see you on the next episode of the Music Educator podcast, and remember, music can change the world.